We're going to see if Angry African will keep up this aggressive play that he showed from the first game. And I think more interestingly, we'll see if Totoro can fend it off in this game. So Angry African 1 up in his first set of games in the PolarfluKe Heavens Devils competition. We've got Angry African spawning bottom right of Steps of War and Totoro spawning top left. So they're playing the same races in this game, Terran and Zerg. And let's hope they don't do the same things, because that will be certain doom for Totoro, because I'm not even sure if he's going to be able to counter that, even if he knows it's coming, because that just seems so good against a fast expanding Zerg. Hopefully Totoro will sort of think ahead here and maybe get a few roaches out before those Reapers, well, not before, but in time to stop those Reapers. And I think most importantly, Totoro needs to think about scouting, because in the previous game he didn't really keep an eye on what was happening in Angry African's base, and that was pretty detrimental to his game. So Angry African in the first game, this is in fact the second game, he used a cute little mass Reaper strat from 4 Raxes with those Nitro packs, and it was devastating. So I don't know if he's going to do the same thing. He hasn't got any gas up yet. He's going to put his racks down now. There you go. He's blocking his choke with his racks, and he'll get his gas out in just a second. A pretty standard opening, but if anyone was wondering why you cancel the gas like Totoro did there, we actually saw it in the game now. It's so you can overpool, so you get 1 extra drone in before that Overlord is finished. So it's a bit of a sneaky trick, and most of the Zergs do it. Very clever. It's amazing how clever these players are. What silly little things they figure out, how to abuse the game and such. But yeah, it's always interesting stuff like that. I practiced that, and it was pretty hard. I mean, it's really easy, but at the same time, there are so many little things you got to remember as Zerg, and I for one am not cut out to be a Zerg player just yet. So there's a bit of a brawl going on here between these drones and these SCVs. There's a lot of SCVs mobile at the moment. Angry African should really get them back on that mineral line as soon as he can. And over in Totoro's base, he's playing pretty well so far. He's not making any mistakes. No supply cap in there, nothing like that. So let's hope he keeps this up. And if Angry African decides to do the same Reaper thing, let's hope Totoro is prepared for it. He gets some roaches out, he gets those Mutalisks out a little bit earlier maybe. We see the second gas going down for Angry African now, and that can only mean one thing. He's either going to get those Reapers, or well, it could mean a few things actually. Get those Reapers, he could be getting some Marauders this time. I don't see why he would if those Reapers worked so well. We've got the metabolic boost coming out now, and it was a lot sooner for Totoro. He's a lot more on the ball in this game, it seems. So second Rax is not going down for Angry African. We are going to be seeing some Helions in this game. So he's putting this reactor down on his first barracks, and he's got a factory going down right next to it. So that just means he's probably going to lift off that barracks once the factory is done, place the factory on the reactor, and start pumping out those Helions. And if he gets that pre-infernal igniter from a tech lab, if he can get a tech lab down, then it'll just rip apart any Zerglings that come his way. So on Totoro's side of the map, he's got his expansion coming up again. It's pretty important for Zerg to expand early, but at the same time, you don't want to compromise the rest of your game to get that expansion up. So let's see if Totoro can actually keep this one up. I want to say he needs more static defense. He needs some ranged units. Zerglings are great, really good, but they cannot last the entire game for you. You've got to get something else as Zerg. So Totoro needs to pretty soon either start thinking of getting that lair down, so he'd need a few more drones on gas, or getting that roach warren down. Let's see if he can do that in time, because here come those Hellions. Second factory going down now. He's either going to put a tech lab on that or just pop another reactor on there. Either way, it's going to spell destruction for Totoro. So Totoro moving out now. His expansion just went up. He's moving out. He's going to catch these 2 Helions in the middle of the map. Nice work by Totoro. A little surround there. And that's 2 Helions less to worry about for Totoro. He's moving in on Angry African's base now, but there are 2 more Helions coming out. Let's see if he can take that reactor down. He does a little bit of damage. Those Zerglings not really effective against these supply depots in these the reactor here, but you know, he's at least trying. He's been a bit more aggressive than the previous game, which I think is a good thing. So if you have a look at ANGRYAFRICAN's side here, he doesn't even know that expansion went up for Totoro, but he is already getting a command center of his own out. So he's going to try just contain Totoro in this game as much as he can, and I suppose try get his expansion up safely. We've got the infernal pre-igniter. Sorry, I got that wrong the first time. Infernal pre-igniter coming out. So those Helions, they're going to be do some crazy damage against those Zerglings pretty soon. And again, I gotta say, Totoro needs to think about either teching or getting some roaches out, because you know he's not going to win this game with just a couple of Zerglings. You know, it's not going to work out. So ANGRYAFRICAN just supply capped here. Let's see if he gets that. He gets the supply depot down in time, and we see an armory coming out for ANGRYAFRICAN now. I guess that could be either to just upgrade the Helions, or to just get Thors. So interestingly enough, there comes the Roach Warren for Totoro and the tech at the same time. So either he's listening to the stream or he's actually thinking on his toes right now. There's a few. Wow. There are a few spine crawlers coming down now, and by a few I mean a ton. There's 5-6 spine crawlers down now, and that's gonna help him out a little bit. But I don't think ANGRYAFRICAN is too keen on attacking just yet, because he is getting his natural up as well, and the chances are good that yes, he does have a lot more SCVs than Totoro has drones, so he's gonna get that natural of his saturated pretty much right off the bat. And if we look at the production tab here, we can see what these guys have coming out. Totoro has a massive 10 drones in production, so that's going to give him a bit of a boost in that income. So it seems, wow, I just missed that, but about 10 Zerglings got fried there by all these Helions, and I think ANGRYAFRICAN may be making a bit of a mistake here by moving these Helions all the way into the back of Totoro's base. He's going to do some damage if Totoro doesn't move those drones right now. Come on, Totoro, and he moves them. Nice. Okay, so 2 drones go down, but these queens are chasing those Helions around. But ANGRYAFRICAN seems to have the upper hand here. Wow, he's following these drones around and frying every single one of them. A bit of a drone barbecue going on here. That is pretty insane. If we look at the unit tab now, Totoro is sitting on 10 drones. That is terrible news for Totoro. His income has just plummeted to sitting on 420 income right now compared to ANGRYAFRICAN's 1,400. So that's gonna take Totoro out of the game. I don't think he's gonna be able to come back very easily from that. He's gonna be forced to build drones now, while ANGRYAFRICAN just pumps out more combative units. So ANGRYAFRICAN playing very well here. Some really nice harass. You know, he was ballsy with his move. Totoro didn't block his ramp, so you know those Helions just scooted right up there into the base, and you know pretty much just decimated all those drones. So let's just see if Totoro can bounce back from this. I don't think it's very likely, but it is possible. We see the first Thor coming out for ANGRYAFRICAN now, and wow, that thing looks so small after seeing those Thors in the single player. They looked a lot cooler than that, I must say. So ANGRYAFRICAN seemingly making a move here on his second natural. He does not need that. Wow, his income is sitting on 1,900, bouncing up to 2,000 all the time. So if we compare the supply of these two players at the moment, 33 for Totoro versus 83 for ANGRYAFRICAN. So all I can say right now is ANGRYAFRICAN can just walk in there and pretty much decimate every single unit of Totoro's without losing, you know, anything. So Totoro, I think once again, one thing he's not really doing at the moment, he isn't really scouting. He could even sacrifice a Overlord or two at the moment just to get a bit of a look here. He doesn't even know that natural is up. So yeah, Totoro he's a bit of he's in a spot of trouble here. ANGRYAFRICAN a bit of an aggressive expand here. His supply captain, he's throwing down 5-6 supply depots here at his second natural. Totoro again with these Mutalisks out here, but you know, once again I think they came out a little bit late. And if you have a look at what ANGRYAFRICAN has here, he's got these 2 Thors out, so you know, those Mutalisks are not going to last long. Thor's anti-air are, you know, it's amazing anti-air just from those 2 Thors with their splash damage. It's going to handle those Mutalisks in no time. And here you go, they're about to clash. They get a few pot shots off. One of the Mutalisks down to half health. Impressive stuff by ANGRYAFRICAN, pretty much reading every single thing. So Angry African, he's pretty much covering all his bases now. He's got some siege tanks coming out. They've got their siege mode ready. He's got his ground covered. He's got his air covered. Not looking good for Totoro. I'll say it again. Angry African got that static defense up everywhere. And at the same time, Totoro just not able to stay with him. Totoro's income is back up there, but, you know, it's, as I said before, a little bit late, I think. He's got these Mutalisks trying to harass here now, but they're just getting taken down, shut down totally by these two Thors. I don't think Angry African even needs any more Thors. He's getting one more out now, but that should be enough. So back to the production tab here, we'll have a look that these players are getting a couple of units, but you know, still Angry African pumping out a lot more than Totoro is able to get. So yeah, I don't know. Angry African seemingly got this game in the bag as he did in the previous one. So I don't know. I'm actually thinking Angry African one of the favorites to win this tournament, as he actually won the previous one. But he seems to be totally on his game right now. And Totoro got a massive amount of larva just lying around here that he's not able to use. You know, at least he's keeping that macro up, but at the same time he doesn't have the minerals to support it. So yeah, a few of the observers here saying I think that infestors would have helped a bit if they could mind control maybe those Thors, or if the siege tanks were in range, something like that. It would have been some nice damage, but you know, it's, as I said before, I think it's a bit late for that. So Totoro is still sitting on a lair now. He's got a Baneling nest out right now, and he's getting that speed upgrade for the Baneling. So I'm not really sure that's going to help very much against an army full of marauders. You know, you're going to need a lot of explosions to take them out, so I don't even think that was a good choice to get those Banelings. I think you would have wanted to rather take a bit further. We're in mid-game right now, and we're going to be entering late game soon if Angry African doesn't attack, which I'm pretty sure he's going to do soon. But you know, we are entering late game, and Totoro could have thought a little bit more ahead. Maybe got a few bigger units out. I don't want to say Ultralisks or Broodlords, but you know, he could have maybe diversified a bit from the whole little Mutaling thing. We know he's Asian and all, but he doesn't need to only go for that. So look at all those units for Angry African. He's sitting on 170 supply compared to Totoro's 90. That is imminent death for Totoro. Let's just hope Angry African doesn't wait too long to attack. We don't want to sit in this game all day long. So Angry African expanding the map full here. He's getting another command center down. He's got his second natural up already, and he's got his entire base covered with these missile turrets. Totoro not able to harass anywhere. I'm not sure what Angry African is doing. I think he's playing with his food at the moment. He's getting a few medvacs out at the moment, a few more tanks. Unnecessary, if you ask me. He can just push in there and end it in just a couple of seconds. Yeah, so at least Totoro doing a few things that Zerg need to do. He's spreading this creep around the map. He's got a couple of Banelings morphing in his base right now. By a couple, I actually mean quite a lot. But, you know, what are the Banelings going to do against a bunch of Marauders and a bunch of Thors? These are incredibly high HP units. If they even make it to the army past those siege tanks, I really don't think they're going to do enough damage. So Angry African throwing a few scans here to get that site. He's sieging those tanks right now, and here comes the pain. Totoro, I hope you're prepared for this. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of siege tanks. They're not quite in range. He's going to have to move them again. But, wow, with the stim pack and those concussive shells, plus those Thors in the back line, they're just nuking all that air. There you go, the Banelings go in. He managed to take out about, what was that, 2 Marauders and 2 Helions, sorry. Not enough damage but with those Banelings. As I said, I think those Banelings were a bit of a bad idea from Totoro. But, you know, he tried, and I think we're going to see the GG now. So that means Angry African does pick up a couple of points from this, and he moves ahead in his group as far as I know. But that's not the end for Totoro. He might still make it out of the group stages. He's got a lot more people to play against, and, you know, I wish him the best of luck in the rest of his games, because I'd like to see him moving through to the brackets. So, yeah, a few things that Totoro did wrong in this game. I gotta say, at the start of the game, he might have wanted to scout a bit sooner, because I think he was expecting those Reapers again. So scouting obviously always important, but you know, because he didn't really know quite what Angry African was going, his unit composition was a little bit off. You know, these Mutalisks, they're doing some nice damage to these Thors right now, but you know, it's just not enough. Thors are going to take them down. It's inevitable. I gotta say, he shouldn't have gone Banelings. That was pretty pointless. Yeah, there's a few things he could have done differently. So that's our second game. Angry African wins this best of 3 with a score of 2-0. You know, bad luck for Totoro, but incredibly well played by Angry African.